Wow. That episode was one hell of a roller coaster ride. I mean, between everything that went down. I mean, okay, let's talk about the elephant in the room because we got to talk about it. Everybody's going to talk about it. What happened with the fusion and seemingly retcon of Vegito. Now, in this episode, it was stated that non-gods, people that aren't like, I guess the Supreme Kais or whatever, they only can be in the fused state for 1 hour. Definitely didn't feel like no hour as they were fighting Zamasu or whatever. It didn't feel like that at all. But that was never stated. It was always stated that it's permanent. It was never stated that non-gods can't, stay completely fused forever and ever, which, I mean, then again, nobody really wants to. But one of the whole worries about Vegito was they're stuck permanently. It's a permanent thing. So it could be that they didn't have the complete info when they first learned about it. Could be that the info was wrong, or it could just be a straight up retcon. It could straight up be just changing things up. If it's just straight up changing things up, then I feel a little bit disappointed with that because, I mean, what we did get, it looked absolutely amazing. Vegito Super Saiyan Blue talking that shit, beating the fuck out of the God merged Zamasu. All of that shit was cool, but the elephant in the room is the fact that when the fuck was there a time limit for fusion with the earrings? We always knew that the, fusion dance, fusion, ha! We always knew that that had 30 minutes, and then depending on how strong you was, it would be, powered down even further, or not powered down, but you'd have less time to be in the fused state. But with the earrings, it was always supposed to be permanent, so I know a lot of people are going to be pissed off about that. Again, what we did get with Vegito, which was a good, I want to say 10 minutes maybe of him kicking ass. It was awesome. I think we had very high expectations because of the preview, and we thought at the very least we were going to have like a whole episode. Some of us had even higher expectations. We were like, yo, I want to see fucking an arc of just them stuck together or some shit. So now we have that as the new law, I guess, of the Patara earrings. Another thing about this episode that people are going to be a little bit like, ooh, I thought it was fucking awesome. For me, aside from if it seemingly is a retcon, from top to bottom, I thought the episode kicked so much fucking ass. It was just the quality action that you love from Dragon Ball Z. The fights, the intensity, the blast, final Kamehameha made it into the fucking series from the video games. Like, definitely some fucking awesome shit there. That was just stupendous on the action or whatever. Also, the ending with Trunks. With him getting the Genki Dama Spirit Bomb sword, that was just kind of like, what? Like, it does feel like, again, it came out of nowhere. So, like, the problematic aspects is, I guess, they wanted to make things larger than life in a sense with this episode without giving too much detail, because even Trunks was like, what the fuck is going on with my sword? I think it's partially due to this unlocked transformation that he's obtained with, like, him having the blue aura at the same time would be Super Saiyan. It's kind of like a mixture in there of why he was able to do it, I'm assuming, because again, it was kind of like, whoa, and then he fucking beat the shit out of Zamasu. But it's kind of questionable if that's just going to be the end of this arc. Is there going to be something else going on? Only time will tell regarding that. But ultimately, I think one of the things that I personally thought was awesome about it was, even though we did get Vegito and it was kind of short, it wasn't, I guess, what we had hoped for. Our expectations were really high to have him around for a while. He wasn't around, but one of the things about this arc that a lot of us forget, this is Trunks' arc. This is Trunks trying to put a stop to a problem that started, or more or less, started, you would say, in his timeline. So the fact that he gets the W at the end and uses his sword on some crazy spirit bomb sword shit against Zamasu makes more sense in regards to the fact that this is his moment. This is supposed to be his shit. I mean, I thought it would have been sick if he would have went straight up Super Saiyan Blue or something like that, but he has some weird hybrid technique, which is fucking insane. And I think, again, it was appropriate for Trunks to finish it off. Still a little disappointing with Vegito not getting the 100% win, because let's be real here, that's what we really were excited for. Another thing I guess people are going to be looking at is, it was seemingly stated by Vegito, you didn't realize you're not immortal anymore because Vegito was kicking his ass. I think that's a questionable statement as well, though, because when Trunks was initially starting to slice up Zamasu, the fuse Zamasu or whatever, you see that the scars or whatever are healing really quickly. So I don't know if it's because of his, state that he's in right now, or what's going on there, because, again, it's like 1 minute Vegito saying, hey, you're not immortal, next minute he is, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of a little confusing in that regard, but again, if you came into this episode expecting some insane action, you got it. I mean, from the start with Goku getting his fucking arm just basically, or his leg destroyed, then you get the fusion, which I knew it was going to happen. I called it in one of my videos. Vegito was going to be super tsundere about it, like, oh, Kakarot, I don't fucking want to do it. What the fuck, man? You with these goddamn earrings. When did you pick up this obsession? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I felt the moment was. So you get that. You get into the Vegito mode, which... Super Saiyan Blue Vegito. Final Kamehameha. That was fucking sick. What we did get with Vegito, it lived up to the expectations. The art, the animation, the music. Let's talk about something else. If you were down, because I had a live stream. I was watching it live and shit like that. One of the things that I really appreciated was the voice acting for Zamasu. He really stepped up to the plate with this one when there was a time that needed to be really just tragic, when there was a time that he needed to scream really badly, like he just couldn't believe it. He performed very well. I gotta give it up. Zamasu' voice actor, very nicely done in that regard as well. I would say that another thing about the episode that was like, is where Zamasu' character in general. I think what it was is he already had these ideals in place prior to even becoming this insanely powerful god with, you know, the combination of him and Goku Black. But what really started to make his character, I guess, a bit on the more annoying side is the constant braggadocious nature that he's obtained, where it's constantly just, ah, yes, I'm going to cleanse all these humans. I am the god. I am the deity. And it's like, bro, shut the fuck up. You ain't shit. You got Vegito pummeling you to the ground. You got Trunks slashing you up. I'm like, what are you trying to do here, bro? You ain't shit. So that's probably something about Zamasu' character that did get quite a bit annoying. Opposed to when it was just Black and it was just Zamasu, you had, you know, a difference. You had Black was just like, you know, really just evil and sinister and wanted to kick ass. Zamasu was just always talking down to humans, but combining them, they're just talking themselves up. So maybe in the episode that was a little bit like, just shut up. But again, Trunks' technique, I'm kind of puzzled as to exactly what it was, because he had the sword, which it seems as though it reminds me of something from a story. I can't really remember which one or whatever. It might be Seven Deadly Sins or something like that. Having the hilt, and he couldn't do much, but then he turned it into like seemingly a lightsaber in a way, kind of like what Vegito did and what Goku Black could do, where he could turn his arm into it. Trunks used the base of his sword, turned it into like a key sword, using his key to make it stronger than, you know, a normal sword where he would just like, well, for example, people think it's Tapion's sword or whatever. That's neither here nor there. That's some movie shit. We'll disregard that right now. But essentially making it stronger than that and being able to strike him down, but we don't really know what it is, and I hope that we do get an explanation. I think one of the biggest question marks on this arc right now is Trunks' transformation. What the fuck has that been? What was that he did? It was seemingly, again, a spirit bomb sword that fucking slayed the shit out of the merged Zamasu. That's what it seemed like, and again, it's like, people are going to be upset about the fact that Vegito, one, I agree personally, I feel it's a little bit like, what? The retcon of, you can only be fused for an hour if you're not a god. If you're a god, like, you know, the Supreme Kai or Old Kai or whatever, it's permanent. But if you're just a mortal, it's only an hour. I think that's kind of reworked in a sense because of the whole difference between mortals and gods with this arc in particular, where it's kind of always been talked about. Although it does feel as though it's not completely a brand new thing, in a sense of the simple fact that there was always like that little bit of racism in a way from Kibito back even in the Buu saga and stuff like that. So there was always that little differentiating factor of like, we're gods, they're, you know, normal people, they're just humans or whatever, mortals and shit like that. So there's always been that. But as far as the earrings go, I do think that I was a little bit like, didn't really care for that. Also, another part of the episode that people are going to have a problem with is the ending. I like the ending. I thought it was dope. We need an explanation. Again, is it a spirit bomb sword? Is it Trunks' new transformation that he was just able to do it? Because the motherfucker looked confused in and of himself. I mean, you got Goku and Vegeta realizing what's going on, so they gave their energy, but that needs to be explained. The stuff with Zamasu, it was kind of like seemingly that sword, because it was a spirit bomb, and I think, if I'm correct, the spirit bomb is able to slay anything that is evil, so that kind of makes a little bit more sense. And overall, I think thematically, Trunks needed to do it. This needed to be Trunks' moment, and I'm so glad that he actually got it. I'm so glad that it was Trunks, even though it takes away from Vegito. Trunks kicking ass. I'll take it. I'll take it. But I want to know what you guys think. How did you feel about the episode? Did you like it? Did you hate it? What do you think about seemingly the new rule that was never explained before? Again, it could be new information that they never knew. But the whole Potara earrings only being able to stay for an hour with normal people. Also, again, it didn't even seem like an hour. Was it that they got their clocks clean so quick, or what was that about, you know? And also, what do you think about Zamasu seemingly being immortal, but Trunks was able to slay him? Do you think it's a new technique? Do you think it was based on something to do with Trunks' new form? And your overall thoughts of the episode. Honestly, as far as action goes, I loved it, but there are some questionable aspects of it. So I'm gonna leave it up to you guys to give your opinion on it. Personally, I thought it was an awesome episode as far as enjoyment-wise, but there were some questionable aspects. But that's all I have for this one. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and stalk my Facebook to get more when the video ends. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day.